great to meet you. Thank you for taking a minute out. And
Yeah.
I would love to begin our journey into the new album and your world of music by asking you this. 5 years ago, this pandemic changed so much for all of us, especially the musician community. How did you get through that pandemic of 2020? And how did it either influence this new album or the way that you do things now?
It's a good question, actually. Um, Let me see. In 2020, I was 20 years old, so
Okay.
I was in college, and I was in my last year of college, I think. So, and I was in music and upright bass, and I don't know. I start to compose the album in this period of time. Uh, I think the first song of the album, Fall. Well, I composed for my last grade of college this song, and after this, I take a pause of music and just to concentrate on myself and all these things that were going on with the pandemic. It was a rough time for me,
Yeah.
for all of us, I think, and particularly for the music industry. So I was questioning myself. uh, about my future in it. So, yeah, I started to compose the album in this era. I took a break from school, now 1 year, and after that, I start my bachelor degree at the university in Montreal in upright bass and jazz, and all the let me think,
Mm.
all the album um, comes from all the knowledge I learned and from my idol that I was listening through pandemic, such Avishai Cohen, Daffer Youssef. And yeah, in the pandemic, it was for me a time to listen to a lot of music and that inspired me, kind of. Yeah.
Well, this is your debut album.
Yeah.
Um, and that's a big deal. There's so many different influences that go into it. You know,
Yeah.
you have the Latin influences, you have Middle Eastern, you know, there's so many things that are going on. What was the vision for this debut album? Because it's such a big deal to get your voice out there.
Okay. Yeah. The vision for the album was to expose myself. Le- So sorry a little bit for my English.
Oh, you're fine. No, you're doing
I
great.
I have to think a little bit. So
Sure.
yeah, um, yeah, it was to expose my true inner self
Yeah.
to the world. See, I think the album is who I am. I choose all these songs because they were meaningful to me. All the song in the album tell something for me. So it was kind of the place to expose me, and in fact, so I tried to mix genre, and it's it's a mix of all my influence, my idol, the music I listen. Basically, it's the music that I want to listen when I'm on bus, in the metro. That's the music I want to hear when I walk, basically.
I love it. So, what are you hoping the listener gets from this album?
Hmm, I don't know. In fact, I made this album for myself, and here in Quebec and Montreal, particularly, there's not a lot of the style that I propose. So I'm kind of unique, and there's a demand for these kind of stuff of music, like check Avishai Cohen, great player, great musician, listen all around the world. Daffer Youssef, and there's not that kind of music in Montreal. So I wanted to present uh, that kind of genre, mix of genre to the public in Quebec and Montreal to make a little bit difference in the music industry. So my hope is that people will just listen and enter this folie, kind of.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. How did this journey into music and more specifically jazz, how did that happen? Take me back to your beginnings and how all of this
Okay,
has evolved into your career.
okay. First of all, I started to play instrument late in my life. I was the first time I touched a guitar, it was at 13 years old. So I have a classical guitar parkour before beginning the upright bass. And I was maybe 15 when I started to play the bass. And Avishai Cohen is one of my idol. So I saw a live session of him and I saw the bass and I was, oh my God, that's what I want to do in life. So I started playing the bass f- for this. And I don't have a lot of knowledge in jazz before my 17, 18 years old. I start college in jazz and now I start to experiment with standard, all these kind of music, great album in jazz, such a kind of blue train, the classic. And it weirdly enough, it had nothing to do with all the music I made. So, but these are not influenced, but it opened me to the jazz and to what I do now. Um, when I compose, I try to incorporate some jazz progression for all the blowing, the solo, but there's a classical dimension to all the theme I wrote. So it's 75% um, music that is wrote. So uh, it's a kind of classical slash jazz mixed up that I propose. And I think it comes from the background of classical guitar I've got and the jazz I learned when I was 18, 19 years old. Yeah, if it made sense.
Yeah, for sure. So let me ask you this. What was the first live jazz show you saw that blew you away and made you think, I want to be up there. I want to do that one day?
Oh, okay. It's in the International Jazz Festival of Montreal. I was 12, 13 years old, and it was Diana Krall.
Wow.
It was a free show of Diana Krall, and I remember the biggest crowd I ever saw at a free concert in Montreal. It was amazing.
That's cool. So let me ask you this. Talk to me a little bit about what gets you up every day to create this music. You got a unique voice. You have your debut out. What gets you up every day and continues to push you forward to develop as an artist?
Ah, good question.
Hmm.
Um, it's a tricky one. So I think, oh my God. Oh, you caught me.
Well, I guess why do you love what's the best thing about being a professional musician? What do you like the best?
Oh, I do what I like, what I love to do. That's the thing I mean it's a great thing to love your job. And I love my job. So That for me, that's the best deal. So maybe that's what I think when I wake up in the morning and I'm gonna come write an album or write songs. I love to do this, so that's what drives me.
Who were some influential bass players or musicians that have influenced the way that you've found your footing and found your voice in this world of jazz?
The first bass player that I really liked and really repick his line was Ray Brown, for sure. I love his rolling bass and his type of walking bass. Such very simple, but man, that's um efficace. What's the word? Oh my God. Um, I'll think later, but Ray Brown for sure.
Yeah. So Montreal is a very unique jazz scene. There's a lot of musicians that are from all kinds of different genres there. How much of living in Montreal has affected these different aspects of your sound? Because, you have the Latin, Brazilian, you had mentioned metal in your bio. There's all these different layers that go in. Is living in Montreal and being around that vibrant scene a part of your voice?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of the album I wrote it when I was walking around Montreal, around all the landscape of the city, and all these great musicians that I listen when I go to bars and see show. Yeah, yeah, for sure. The city influenced me.
So, why do you love this art form we call jazz?
Mm, because of the freedom that jazz has. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can do basically whatever you want, and you're not in a you're not in a closed environment. So that's what I like with jazz.
So, if you could get into a time machine and go back in time and see one jazz show, any jazz show, where would you go?
Mm. One jazz show.
Yeah,
I would love to see Oscar Peterson in
yeah,
his prime with his trio with Ray Brown and Ed Pipen, I think. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
I love his bluesy style and
for
all
sure.
this. Yeah.
So, let me ask you this. What are you doing to promote the album? What's coming up for live shows? How is all that transpiring?
Um, I done some show this summer. For now, I have nothing planned to show. I was finishing my bachelor degree when I released the album in the same week, so I had a busy times back then. So I don't I do not plan anything for now,
Okay.
but for sure I've got some show planned for 2026. Basically, it's gonna happen right there. And yesterday I was playing at the Southern Jazz Fest, so I do some concert
Yeah.
this summer, but not that much. I was on vacation a little bit.
Okay. That's cool. So, let me ask you this. Everyone has this idea of who they think you are. Your family, your friends, everyone that buys your music, everyone that knows you, but you're the one that's in control. What is
Yeah.
your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Hmm. I am me. I am a mix of all you can find in the album. Quiet person, but that can have a kind of metal style sometime.
I dig it. So let's say we talk in 10 years from now. We're talking about your debut album. You're getting out into the world. Everybody's listening to your music. But in 10 years from now, where do you want to see your career?
I would love to have played in Europe, do the around the world tour, and for sure in 10 years I hope that maybe one or two album would have released since then.
Yeah.
And I'm currently basically write. I begin to write the second album, so already. So I'm not I'm not stressed with this, but
Yeah,
yeah, for sure I would like to do the world tour and jazz world tour, jazz festival, and yeah.
I love it. So if anyone wants to pick up a copy of this album, where's the best place for them to go?
Okay, you can on my Bandcamp basically.
Okay.
Bandcamp, or if you want to support me directly, message me on Instagram, on my Facebook. I mean, I'm on all platforms, so should be easy.
Yeah, I love it. So, thank you so much. Thank you. And if anybody, do you have a website? If anybody wants any more information,
Yeah,
tour dates, any of that?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I have a link tree with all my account. I have a website too,
Okay.
so you can see all my future show coming out.
Okay. I will
Yeah.
put all of that in the show notes. This has been wonderful. Thank you again so much for sending the music. Thank you for taking a minute out. Best of luck with it all. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you too, man. I appreciate it a lot. It was nice.
Jazz
So,
fans, Joe Domino of Neon Jazz here. Proud to let you know about the triumphant return of the Kansas City Blues and Jazz Festival to Legends Field at the home of the KC Monarchs with a stellar lineup. Grammy-winning Stanley Clarke, Carl Denson's Tiny Universe, jazz master Bill Frisell, and KC luminaries Jackie Myers and Brody Buster. Tickets and more for this electrifying two-day event is found at monarchsbaseball.com, then click on special events. This October 3rd and 4th, join us as we bring magic and music back to Kansas City.